What's up, guys? Welcome back into the YouTube channel. So obviously you can tell we are up in the big shop. We have the truck and we're going to be talking about something a little bit different today. I have contemplated redoing the exhaust and stuff here on the truck. I am definitely going to be tearing it apart this winter and doing new like header gaskets, rewrapping the header collectors down there. We're going to be doing something a little bit different, but we're not talking about anything up here today. We're actually going to be talking about the back of the truck. So a lot of you guys know I run an axle dump exhaust. Exhaust is one of those things that can make or break a vehicle. I'm not a big fan of seeing it hang down up and over the axles, come out. It drives me nuts. I want that clean look. I want the sound to be the most important thing. So when I had the exhaust redone on the truck, I told him to kind of keep it tucked up as tight to the frame and stuff as he could. And then we did the axle dump. So basically all you're seeing is the nice tips on the truck. Well, that being said, the tips on the truck aren't very nice anymore. So I reached out. I actually seen a couple of videos from the gentleman that I'm going to be introducing here in a minute on TikTok. The very first one, I believe, was your 4th of July tip, or your patriotic one, you want to call it, was the first one I seen, which I'll throw a clip in. I reached out. What are you, about 2 hours away? Yeah. About 2 hours away in Kentucky from me. It's funny though, his brother actually lives in a town just south of me, about 10 minutes away. But we're gonna go ahead and step to the back side of the truck. I'm gonna show you the current tips I have and then the ones that will be going on the truck. So without any more me blabbering, let's go ahead and I'll show you those real quick and then we'll show you the new setup. So for the current setup, you guys can see we're just running the, I don't even know what they are, Boley. I think they're 3 to 4s, not very, I'll call photogenic. They're just kind of bland to me. I wanted something a little bit different. So Camden here with Twisted Auto Fab actually designed some really cool tips here. I'll kind of let him explain everything. These are 3 to 5s.
3 to 5s, yep.
And then what's the overall length on these?
12 inch from here to here is the longest point. And then it's an octagon tip, but they're like a 22.5 degree bend for each point. And it's a single rolled piece, so it's a single piece all the way around with a single weld seam. And then the backing plate is a single piece that is then welded on. And then it's made for the slip joint style exhausts, and then it's welded on. And then they use just 3-inch stainless steel band clamps. All the overlays I wanted to design and do for his theme, where he named his truck Doc Holiday, so we geared it around Doc Holiday specifically, and all the kind of little phrases and stuff like that he said. And then we done some pistols and the overlays also. So we got Doc Holiday, tried to match the wording on his truck. Daisy if you do. And then my company logo on the bottom. And then on this one we done I'll Be Your Huckleberry and Say When. And then because it was his axle dump, we didn't do overlays on this end because they wouldn't be seen at all anyways.
And I contemplated going to a little bit bigger tip, but I'm glad we didn't, just because if you look up underneath, you can kind of tell how close the tips are already. And I'm kind of glad we didn't, because that's what he was talking about. If you went to anything a little bit bigger, you'd probably be bumping in and rubbing. But as far as exhaust stuff goes, kind of explain what you do. Do you specifically just do exhaust, or what does your company do for
as far as what my company does is I'll do just about anything. I do anything from air ride to coilovers to axle swaps, axle trusses. I'm not afraid to build frames from scratch. I've done it before in the past. As far as anything goes, as long as it's actual fabrication work, when it comes down to it, I can do about anything. I've built LS swaps. I've built Cummins swaps. I've got a BMW that I'm going to be putting an LS in. I've got a Cummins in my actual personal truck, a Common Rail 05. Air ride, I've got one of the nicest air ride kits available on the market that's got the most parts for the money's worth and has the most availability, but at the same time also has a cheaper price than anybody else in the industry. But when it comes down to it, I build literally about anything. I've built grill inserts, I've built grills, I'm working on building custom radiator supports to offer for the 88 to 98 Chevrolets currently, for being able to do boosted applications and have intercoolers and just compartmentalize and tuck everything in a whole lot nicer. But when it comes down to it, like I said, I'll build about anything. All I really need is an idea of what I'm building and some measurements.
And again, guys, I think when we get the 86, the 6.2 diesel build going, I'm probably going to reach out and have a custom stack made for it. Yeah. I'm not sure what the name of the theme of the truck's going to be, but once we get it figured out, I will be reaching out and hopefully we can come up with something cool on it. But I'm going to link all his TikTok and Facebook will be linked. If you guys have any questions, like I said, he's about 2 hours away from me. Where are you located at in Kentucky?
Georgetown.
So Georgetown, Kentucky, if anybody's around there. I'm definitely going to be making some TikTok clips and tagging him in them. So be on the lookout for it. But huge thank you again.
Oh, you're right.
We got him hooked up with a t-shirt, a couple decals. He returned the favor with a t-shirt and a decal. So I'm excited to get these on there. Can't wait to get that nastiness cut off down there and get these fine-tuned, I would say machinery, but I don't think that's technically the terminology for it. Equipment, we'll call it equipment, on there. And I was very pleased at your customer service. We had a, what do you want to call it?
Brought them with me. Yeah,
an overlay in there.
An insert that went here, and because where they sit side by side, we actually done the insert, and then we had the pistols on each side, and then we had say when on there also. But because of the exhaust setup, we decided to remove them because they wasn't going to be visually seen.
So that was my biggest thing. I loved the first design and stuff that he came up with, and then I got looking at the truck, and like he said, with the exhaust being so low and these being a much longer tip than what's on the truck, it was either we were going to have to move this whole tip up and you probably wouldn't have been able to see much of the overlays itself, or you wouldn't have been able to see the bottom. So we scratched the bottom, and I am very pleased at everything and how well these came out. His powder coat guy did an amazing job. The collar gray that he used matches the truck very well. It's just got a little flake in it, which I actually like because it's going to stand out underneath of the truck. And I can't wait to get these put on. But thank you again, sir. Like I said, guys, if you are down in Kentucky or just social media, reach out to him. Now let's go back and talk about price point wise. So say a customer comes to you and wants the exact, say a 3 to a 5 or a 4 to a 6 like diesel tip. What does a tip run them?
So a single tip, if with overlays, designed however you want. So I don't have a set design that I keep in my library unless somebody's just wanting something plain, which I've got stuff like what I call a honeycomb, so it looks like a bunch of little honeycombs, and then I can put wording in it. But if you're wanting something actually just completely custom like this, you know, completely different, whether it be words or whether it be designs in the whole thing, like roses or flames, whatever, I can do about anything. But for all of my tips, the octagon tips, assembled and powder coated, if you're doing local pickup, they're $250 each. If it's shipping, then it's shipping, it's $280. But that's, you know, I win and lose on the shipping, so. But as far as that goes, and that's for my 5-inch to 10-inch tips. I just have a base price on them because of what I offer. It's $250 if local pickup, because all of my tips come with the stainless steel band clamps. Everything you need to install them, and that's either 3, 3.5, 4, or 5, and then any size from 5 to 10 inch.
And guys, when I say these things are built well, I mean
they're 16 gauge metal.
They are.
Tips are 16 gauge, and then all the overlays are 16 gauge.
It's very, I mean, it's stout versus your typical just eBay rolled in tip. Like this, I would spend the money on, again, without a doubt, versus spending $80 on just your typical, say I have a diesel and it's a 4 to 6 inch rolled chrome or polished tip. I would much rather go this route instead of just a cheap one, because I mean, a cheap one, don't get me wrong, they look good for what, a year, year and a half, and then you get just nastiness. They look like junk after a while. These, I know they're gonna stay clean and look good. And
my powder coat guy that does all of my powder coating, which is Hot Coat Customs, he does double coat of the powder on everything, and then after everything's said and done, everything gets done with a clear coat for protection and for UV protection that resists fading and stuff like that, so that you can get the most life out of your parts without it fading or deteriorating over time.
And again, guys, I am very pleased with this. Like I said, I would definitely spend the money again. We will be working together again on whether it's another build coming up, or like I said, the 86, if I do a stack, whatever we do. Thank you again, sir, for driving them up here. I'm glad we could kind of do a little video and stuff. Be on the lookout for some TikTok videos coming soon, guys. We'll probably have another install video coming soon. But that's going to do it. You have any final words, any business-wise knowledge you want to lay on anybody, or is it just...
I guess if you got something that you ain't got nobody else that wants to do, reach out to me, challenge me. I always like a challenge. I'm not afraid to back down from it, so...
Well, there we go, guys. Again, can't thank him enough for coming up here. That's going to do it, guys. Like I said, be on the lookout for the install video. But remember, learning as I do and doing I love. I'm the GM Man. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. All right, guys, so it is currently the next day. Instead of making this a two-part, I'm not going to make you guys wait. I'm going to go ahead and get these things installed. I'm going to grab the Sawzall, get the current tips cut off. And like I said, guys, these are just some cheapo Boley. You can't even really see it, but they're just some cheapo exhaust. So we're going to go ahead and get those cut off. The new ones and the clamps, these are the clamps he was talking about. The stainless steel ones, so shouldn't have to worry about anything rusting. So we'll go ahead and get these thrown on along with the tips. But before we can do that, we got to get the old ones cut off. So let's go ahead and grab the Sawzall, cut to the montage, and get these things hacked off. Well, there we go, guys. They are on. Took a little more than I thought it was going to. I kept bending my Sawzall blades. I end up having to cut, there's a bolt right there I end up having to cut to space these out a little bit, but they are on there. Give you guys a little bit of a glimpse of them here. Don't worry about the dirty, crusty diff cover. I got a new one on the way. So, but nope, they look good. Let's go ahead and fire this thing up and see what it sounds like. Well, guys, there we have it. The Twisted Auto Fab tips are installed again. Camden, thank you for building those for me. They look sweet underneath of the truck. You guys can't really see them that well, but once it gets daylight, I'll back it out and definitely get a better video shot of it. But they look good. Anyway, that's gonna do it, guys. Remember, learning as I do, doing I love. I'm the GM Man. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.